Welcome.
Hey guys, I'm Chris from the Silver Symbol channel, and today we're on my workshop channel and we're looking at the gate that I installed last year. Now this video got quite a few views and I got lots of kudos, but also a bunch of complaints because there were some issues with the gate that I didn't really consider back then, and the biggest one of all was, how does somebody get through this gate when I'm not expecting them? Now I'm not completely oblivious. When I built this thing, my assumption was that all of these fancy cameras that I have installed on the gate also contain alarms and triggers and different warnings so that if someone approaches the gate, I'm actually notified about it. So I just figured once I got an alert, I would go ahead and look at the camera to see who was there, and I'd unlock the gate remotely. There was just one problem with that idea. I'm not always around, and sometimes my family's here, and how are they going to know that somebody's at the gate? So it turns out I needed some sort of a doorbell. For this installation, I've selected the Ubiquiti G6 Entry Pro, or maybe it's called the G6 Entry, but this was a new model that it took these guys forever to come out with. But I specifically wanted this one because it's a smaller design, and this unit contains an LCD screen, a camera, and you can also use the screen as a keypad, allowing different ways to get in. But I've also enhanced this installation by putting a remote screen inside my house, so if someone pushes that doorbell button, they will be able to see everything from this screen, and they can actually unlock the gate remotely. So I'll show you how I did it, how this thing works, and the benefits that I've gained by installing this. And nothing in this video is sponsored. I'm not connected with Ubiquiti in any way, so if you don't like their cameras, don't use them. But I do like their system. It's an integrated system where all of the cameras talk to each other, and you can set up alerts and alarms, and that is what I'm currently doing. If you want some sort of doorbell or door access, this G6 Entry Pro I think is really the best value. Originally, I had bought their gate intercom unit and it was miserable. It was huge and I just didn't think it was going to hold up over time. The screen was a little bit too big for my taste. So this G6 Entry is actually cheaper and I think it's more functional. Now the way you mount your thing could be completely different. Here, I did not want to mount this in the ground. Normally when you pull up somewhere, you're used to seeing an intercom that is kind of sticking out of the ground in the middle of nowhere. You'll need that if you've got a situation where you've got visitors coming in and out constantly. I don't have that. In fact, a visitor here is pretty rare. Instead, I'm going to mount this thing on the existing gate structure, but I do need a pole to elevate it and separate it a bit from the cameras. This is just simply a piece of 1 by, I think, 2.5 inch steel, and I'm going to use this cold saw. This is pretty cool. It's basically a chop saw that cuts metal, cuts through steel like butter, no sparks, and you get a super clean edge. Next, I needed a hole in the post. Now for that, you could certainly use a drill press, but I've got this plasma cutter, so I just blasted a hole right through. And now I'm using that prefabricated bracket from Amazon. Now this is a steel bracket. If you're going to use one of these and you plan to weld it, make sure you get one made of steel and not aluminum if you're going to be going to a steel post. With the post ready, I've got to mount it to the existing gate. Now for this, I'm just going to simply remove a bit of metal and I will weld it against the existing steel. Now of course you can't have any paint there to get a good electrical connection and a clean weld, so I had to grind some away. And I'll also reiterate the reason I did not put this post, say 10 or 15 feet away from the gate is because one, it's not used very much. And as you can see, I've got a dirt driveway. And when I'm snow plowing this, the gate is already tough enough to get around. I did not want another post. With the welding complete, of course, it's raw steel, so I've got to paint it. This is the same paint I used in the gate. This rust bullet black shell stuff is awesome. You can use it on steel, powder coating. It basically covers anything, but it is $50 for that little quart, so it's not cheap, but it is really durable. Now here's a trick manufacturers love. Oftentimes they paint stuff that you're going to buy that's made of steel, but the inside of course is raw steel and that will just rust out. Now none of this is going to last forever, but I didn't want it to rust out prematurely, so grab a can of spray paint. I'm going to spray right down the pole and that should give it enough of a coating to give it some protection. Now I've just got to mount the included plate hardware from the G6 Entry Pro onto the bracket. Now fortunately this bracket had tons of holes and there's really no standard, but enough of the holes do line up and I was able to screw it in place. This is already a bit of a screwy install because the intercom is to the side and you'd be standing in front of it. So to make it a little bit easier to see on the person, you can use this included angle plate. Now this comes right in the kit and it just sandwiches between the bracket and the G6 Entry, and this will turn it a bit. Now you'll get a much better viewing angle. Did some test fits without this adapter and it really just did not look good. So using this completely changed this installation and I think it's a lot more usable. With the bracket and the wedge adapter installed, I'm ready to fish the cable, and it wasn't a lot harder than I expected because of that rough hole and this weird angle. I really should have planned this a little bit better, maybe put a small piece of conduit inside, But either way, I was able to fish the cable through, but unfortunately, I didn't have a cable that was black, so I'm just going to use this existing blue one for now, and I will probably spray it later with some sort of a plastic paint. Now here's something I've done on everything I've installed outdoors, whether it's a camera, keypad, or even the outdoor light that Ubiquiti offers. I use a product called dielectric grease, and if you've never seen this might make you a little bit sick because essentially you slather this kind of greasy material all over your network connector. Now by itself, this grease does not conduct electricity, that's why it's called dielectric. However, it's got a unique property. When it's applied to connectors like copper or gold, and it's inserted into another connector, where they make their electric connection, they actually displace the grease just enough to get a secure electrical link. But the area around it is now encased in the grease, making it completely weatherproof and resistant to any type of water or moisture getting in there. So though this stuff kind of looks like a mess and a disaster, it really does work well. Most professional camera installers also use this stuff for the exact same reason, is we don't want a lot of water going inside this pipe. So I had to special order this plug, and once we hammer it in place, this will at least prevent bugs and water getting in the top. And I used another plug on the bottom, but this one I drilled a hole in so I could pass that network cable right through it. That's about the best that's gonna be. This cabinet is normally locked, but for this installation, of course, I just removed the locks, and now I've got to fish that cable in the bottom. The way most of these cabinets work is pretty easy. You use one of these cable glands to fish your wires in from the bottom, mainly to keep water out, and then you can tighten them up, and it should be a watertight connection. This cabinet has now been installed for almost a year, and it is completely dry inside. And that white box is in fact the Ubiquiti Door Hub Mini. Now there are a lot of conflicting reports on this thing that it will not support this G6 entry, that you need PoE++, and there are some other misconceptions that I'll cover at the end of this video. First, we're going to look at the system itself and show you how it works. Oh, I like that. I hear my phone ringing on the ATV. That is a good sign. Now the cool thing about this G6 Entry Pro is there are multiple ways to access your gate. Now you can just use it as an intercom and basically just let somebody know you're there. But additionally, I'm going to use the gate control, and that's what that Door Hub Mini is doing. But when you walk up to this, you have a few different choices. You can just enter a PIN or a code that you select, and it can be done per user so you know exactly who's accessing your place. Once the correct PIN is entered, the gate will automatically open, or you could certainly open up a garage door or another door if you do the wiring correctly. But that's kind of the old school way to open this. Additionally, this thing supports touch pass, NFC unlock, mobile unlock from the app, and you can even do facial recognition to unlock the gate. I'm not planning to use any of those other methods because for the most part, I am actually still using the radio opener for the gate itself. I'm only using the G6 Entry Pro to allow visitors to get in to see what's going on with the two built-in cameras. Now this thing is a package camera that's pretty much useless for me because it's just looking at the ground, but many people of course will use that at a door, but I'm using the built-in camera, which is actually quite clear and useful. And that takes us to what exactly happens when you press the button. Well, here I've got their intercom viewer. Now this is made also by Ubiquiti, and you can tie it into cameras as well. So I've actually got 3 cameras tied in. The one facing forward, the one facing backwards. That's the pretty much useless package camera that's built into the G6 Entry Pro. But you can see here, this Apple-like screen is super useful. Now I can not only monitor the cameras, I can listen to what's going on down there, which could be helpful depending on your installation. And this little screen actually looks really good on camera. I don't know why the colors look so bizarre, but if you get one of these, it is surprisingly useful. However, this is one of the most purchased accessories from Ubiquiti that people find out doesn't work with anything they've got. You've got to have one of those door hubs or a gate hub to actually connect to this thing to get any use. So even if you've got 100 Ubiquiti cameras, don't buy this intercom viewer because it will do nothing. It can only pair up with one of those hubs. And of course, the most important, you can unlock the gate or the door, whatever you've got connected to that hub. And here's how it works in real life.
Hello?
Let me in.
No, go away.
And remember, all this is done between the door hub, the camera, the gate controller, without any app support at all. So this is perfect if you've got somebody in their house and you want to see what's going on. And you can install multiple ones of these intercom viewers. So if you want one in your bedroom and you're downstairs, you can do that. Here's some close-ups of how everything is connected and what I'm using to run it. This, of course, is the Door Hub Mini, and I've got 2 wires going into the normally open and common connectors of this device. Additionally, those cameras that you want to have tied into the intercom have to be plugged into the door hub. You won't be able to bind any cameras that are not physically plugged into this thing or the gate hub if you get the larger model. There were early rumors saying you had to have PoE++ to run all this stuff, and that just isn't true. I see now that Ubiquiti has really called that out, and I think it's more commonly known, but it still get that misconception that you need more power than you actually have. And this switch, of course, which is in Ubiquiti, is just a PoE+ switch. I've got another update as well. If you watch my original gate build video, one of the biggest and probably most crazy things about this gate is that the batteries were being charged by using PoE or Power over Ethernet extraction. But I think I've got something that's even crazier. Now that worked fine for the first 9 months. I had no issues at all. Took some figuring out, but the gate was working flawlessly. But then I had another idea. Having that PoE extractor was introducing one additional piece of equipment. I actually had to have the adapter in here to pull the power out of these ports on this switch. But it got me thinking, could I get power some other way? And I remembered that I had run this game changer cable that was basically just sitting here. Now that's just a piece of network wire with 8 wires. Now game changer is 23 gauge wire, so it's a little bit thicker, but that's still not enough to run 48 volts. What if I took 4 of each conductor and I kind of wrapped them together? What would that do to the wires? Does it actually take all 23 gauges and combine it? This change would break out the solar charging voltage. So I would actually run a second solar charging power supply back up in my garage, and then I would feed it down the game changer cable. Now I'll have one dedicated power line exclusively to charge those solar batteries. Then I'll have the green and black power lines that were already in place that will continue to run the switch. The network switch is powered by a power supply back up in my garage. I have it set to around 51 volts, and with the distance, it ends up being about a perfect 48 volts that runs the switch correctly. The solar batteries are really looking for something between 25 volts and about 40 volts, so I set the power supply to around 38 volts, and I do end up with around 35 volts, and that is perfect to fool the opener into thinking it's getting solar power anytime it needs it. So I did some research and learned that you can combine insulated wires together. However, you don't gain the full thickness of the cable, of course, because the wires aren't directly touching. What you essentially do is take the gauge of the wire, multiply them by how many conductors you've got, and then you subtract about 1 gauge out of it. So with 4 23 gauge wires together, I was actually getting around, could be anywhere from a 14 gauge to an 18 gauge conductor. So essentially that 8 wire cable is now providing 2 conductors that I could use for my positive and negative DC, and I could actually eliminate the power over Ethernet stuff. I'm not recommending you do this. This was just another experiment I wanted to try, and so far, after about 3 months, this is working just fine. I'm using that small power monitor just to keep an eye on what's going on in case there are issues, but the power over Ethernet model and this kind of weirdly hacked model are both working perfectly to keep those batteries charged, and the gate has been working perfectly. So that's the installation and my gate updates, and I want to thank my FedEx driver for coming up with the title. He actually said to me one day, he says, "You need a doorbell for this safe house you're living in." And I actually got that same comment on the original gate build video. I thought it was kind of funny, so hopefully you do too. But either way, this is the G6 Entry Pro, and hopefully you enjoyed watching it and maybe got a few tricks. And if you have any comments, please leave them below.